Judging by the company he's keeping, I'd say that lid paid off nicely. Launch was a roaring success. PAPPLE shot up to 7 million market cap in record time. But don't go thinking that's the finale. Oh no, that was just the warm-up act. Limit orders, slice token insights, advanced charting, lower fees, staking, you name it. The devs have been very busy. And if you think that's all, guess again. We're just getting started, mate. Well, seems everyone wants a piece of the action. New faces, old faces, big names, of course they do. The real fun hasn't even begun yet. Dramatic change of scenery, innit? Our man's come a long, long way from that little invitation. But believe me, this is nowhere near the end of the story. Remember all the rumours about pineapples? Turns out the real story is far more interesting and profitable. We'll have to stay tuned for that. Pineapple. It's not what you think. It's so much better. Right. Fortune favours a bold or so, they say. And our man here, well, he leaped to the chance. Judging by the company he's keeping, I'd say that lid paid off nicely. Launch was a roaring success. PAPPLE shot up to 7 million market cap in record time. But don't go thinking that's the finale. Oh no, that was just the warm-up act. Limit orders, slice token insights, advanced charting, lower fees, staking, you name it. The devs have been very busy. And if you think that's all, guess again. We're just getting started, mate. Well, seems everyone wants a piece of the action. New faces, old faces, big names, of course they do. The real fun hasn't even begun yet. Dramatic change of scenery, innit? Our man's come a long, long way from that little invitation. But believe me, this is nowhere near the end of the story. Remember all the rumours about pineapples? Turns out the real story is far more interesting and profitable. We'll have to stay tuned for that. Pineapple. It's not what you think. It's so much better.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Pineapple AMA with myself, JT, and Tom. And tonight we've got a special guest, Martijn from Siri Network, who's going to take us through quite an interesting concept that we've been working on over the last couple of months, and are going to continue to work on into the next couple of weeks and months in going forward. Quite an exciting piece of technology. There's a lot of real world application with it, and it's something we're quite excited to sort of push on to the next level. So Martijn, how are you doing today?
Yeah, good. Still catching my breath from the video. Another banger from the pineapple factory. No, going well. I mean, it's taken us a while to be able to show what we can. Help projects like yourself with in the Web3 space. We were working very closely for ages. Myself and Sean have been discussing, something cool like this for years. And yeah, super excited to, tell people what we've been cooking.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. It's really good to have you back again, Martin. I know it's a few months ago since we last spoke, and thank you, JT. Obviously, there's a lot to talk about. This is the beginning of our early stage relationship, but I think a lot of people don't really understand how far it's going to progress as time goes on. And it's something that you guys have been working on for a long, long time. And it's now sort of coming out at just the right time where the market is beginning to really flourish. And these sort of campaigns are going to be really useful for the different projects that you're going to work with. I know there's a few lined up. I'm not sure that we can talk about them, or you're going to release those details later on. But that's what's really key. There are a lot of people that we're going to be working with, and in conjunction with us as well. So before I just go on about, so you sort of can explain more about this relationship, and also I think the key bit is the technology and how we're going to work together. I think it's very important to realise that the marketing field at the moment is very, I guess the word scattergun is probably what you'd use normally within the crypto market, because it's very difficult to kind of work out what's happened, where it came from, where you were getting good leads from, or where the marketing spend actually worked, because it's really hard to track that. And that is the most key thing I think about Cere and the way that you've developed your technology, being able to track, perhaps remove bots, and also most importantly to get the fundamental information that's important for every project so they can target spend much more effectively. Now, I think probably it's going to hand over to you now, who is the expert and obviously leading up the Cere team, and perhaps go into a bit more detail about where we are with current Web3 marketing and where you're going to take us.
Yeah, cool. Well, just to paint a bit of a picture, I've been myself in Web3 for, I think almost 8 years across 2 different companies, been with Cere for 5 years. And I know, how hard it is to properly manage a community, right? People come and go, people's attention is very scattered. How do you identify, the core contributors or meaningful contributors in this, especially look at a chat like Pineapple. There's a lot of messages, there's a lot of people, how are you making sure that, the right information on the state of the community reaches the executives without them being in there constantly, right? And how do you make sure, exactly like you said, that the ad budget and growth operations are, distributed in a way that makes sense and that actually provides value to the company, right? Because we all want users, we all want volume, we all want wallets, but what are the most effective channels, and how can you make sure that in a first-time user experience or a first-time user onboarding, the key value proposition is immediately made clear and people feel welcomed, right, by a community rather than just being dumped into this chat where you have all these people who may or may not know each other, sending gifts, etc. So what we've been building is an application of our stack. So Cere is the protocol to power and secure decentralized data clusters, where the protocol is in turn powered by the Cere token. But think of these data clusters like these mini AWS instances that can be spun up anywhere for any specific purposes. So you just can run on bare metal, on virtual clouds. You spin up a couple data nodes, you form a cluster which has this enterprise grade data management KPIs. And once you have that in place, you can start utilizing it for any specific purpose, and eventually power that data by applying real-time AI on that secure cluster data. So when we look at the first 2 campaigns we did with you, with the Pineapple team and a couple other projects, we were already using our own technology to do these watch to earn quests. So users will be seeing a message in the announcement channel. There will be a link. People open it. The campaign opens up. A bit like Zeely and Gleam and Galaxy. However, the real distinguishment is that in the onboarding process, whenever the user accepts the terms of service and privacy policy, we create a wallet for them in the background. And that is a Cere data wallet. And from there on, every interaction with that wallet, which I'll show in a bit, every interaction through that wallet with the campaign is being registered to the user, because that's our way of attributing points. So when we're doing these watch to earn campaigns, which is something unique, which nobody else has, is that we stream this data from our decentralized data cluster called Dragon 1, whereas we can register the user behavior against that video through the wallet, also on that data cluster. Which allows for for things like making sure that users complete the video. So we build in these little checkpoints within the videos, and only if you go past 4 or 5 checkpoints, only then can you get the points that are tied to that quest. So it's a really user-centric way of data management. We don't use databases. We have really the Cere wallet that the user owns, which is a sovereign wallet, as the source of truth from which we're aggregating things like the leaderboard. Leaderboard is an aggregation of all these data wallets that are put on this pile, which then allow for this insight into who did what quest. So other than the watch to earn, we were running a set of different quests with the Pineapple team. Think maybe a bit more well-known quests like share to earn, refer to earn, and the quiz for each points. But today we're really launching something which I'm super excited about. Like I said, been with Cere for 5 years, and I know JT and I have been discussing this explicitly about the possibilities this opens. Hopefully, I'm going to be showing it in production very soon. This will be part of the 3rd campaign together with you guys, which will really show how the data wallet is a really cool piece of deep tech, which will unlock so many use cases, which I'm more than happy to talk about in a bit. But so yeah, that's where we've been so far, and super excited to show you guys what we'll be launching for the PAPPLE community, Cere community, and every other community in the near future.
And that's great to hear. And as I said, as you've mentioned, we've been discussing this for a while, and the potential is amazing. But I think something that our community needs to understand is that this is a developing project. It's something that we've sort of kicked off and we've introduced into our channels to try and see, the efficacy of it and see how it's working and test it and develop it and push it forward and forward. But now we're kind of at a stage where we can do something really cool with the campaign that. I'll let you discuss and tell everybody what we're gonna be doing.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and of course, looking at your team, having been working so closely with you, I know this is legit what you guys are doing, right? I can put my hand in the fire for everybody who I speak to when they need a reference to a text. You're the first one. So we want to reward that and also reward you guys for being such a good partner. So what we will be doing from now on is a so-called buy to earn quest, where all the campaigns that we will be running ourselves, you guys, but also every other project that wants to run these bullish engagement campaigns will eventually be triggered to start buying tokens on Pineapple DEX. So imagine that a user for the first time sees an ad on X or Telegram. There's a cool, very activating message. Say, hey, go do this, go do the watch to earn, go do buy to earn. This is a top project. They click on a link and they immediately drop into Telegram where the app opens and they see a welcoming message. The watch to earn video really explains what the project is about. They go through the other quests and then they say, hey, now that you're actually informed and you know what the project is about, do you maybe want to buy some Cere tokens, let's say, or Pineapple tokens on Pineapple DEX? So how we can actually measure or track whether the user has actually done that specific action in a third-party app is that we can deep link from the campaign into the Pineapple UI, where the user is being asked to verify his Cere wallet through Telegram authentication. I'll show that in a bit. But the cool thing is that the activity SDK, think Google Analytics, couple lines of code dropped into the Pineapple UI, is actually tracking if certain parameters are being met. So in this case, we'll show you how it's going to be listening to whether a user has swapped for at least $15 worth of Ethereum to Pineapple. If that threshold is met, the activity SDK emits an event, and that is being logged against user wallet, and therefore it will receive points. We'll have a cool announcement on that shortly, on how we are from Cere's end are really amplifying that to drive more traffic to Pineapple, and how we're going to be incentivizing users from our end next to your campaign on starting Pineapple.
And people get really nervous about tracking. So can you just give us what you've told me earlier on today about the anonymity of this and the fact that it's not somebody following you around, and it's not what you'd expect from normal tracking. It's different. But can you just tell us a little bit about, before anyone gets really nervous about the tracking side, a little bit more about the tracking part of it?
Sure. So whenever the user for the first time starts a bullish campaign, whatever project it is, they accept the terms of service and privacy policy, which means that to create the wallet for them. Every event, like video watched or swap completed, is individually encrypted and associated with the wallet. Every event is being encrypted locally, end-to-end, and is then stored against the user wallet, where only the user has the keys to unlock those events or grant the keys to a project or to an AI agent. So we have the end-to-end encryption, and then we have the multi-party access controls, where you actually have this so-called agent registry, where you say, okay, these agents are permitted to compute on my data to give me experiences in the Pineapple app or in the Bullish app, like trading pair recommendations or risk analysis or trading support or whatever. The user always has control over his full data timeline, which I'll also show in a sec, but can also invoke and can also revoke these permissions being granted to a project or an agent on the most granular level possible. Because we don't say it's binary, you give access to everything. No, you can actually control every single event tied to your data wallet and do this granular permission granting to any instance that requests that. The same way you now do Google OAuth. But it's not like when you do Google OAuth, you have an option to say, well, I want to share this, but I don't want to share that, right? That is really what Web3 is specifically suitable for, to do this, decentralized identity management, which is completely, multi-party access control based. And then finally, I think to round it up, every single event generated in these applications powered by infrastructure is also immediately registered with a CID on our layer 1 blockchain. So it's also immutable and therefore constantly verifiable. So I'm more than happy in the chat or anywhere else to go deeper in the specific encryption methods, but I'm not going to bore the people here today with that. But yeah, with something we really stand for. We see the Cere wallet as really a source of truth on the internet, where whether you want to have your booking.com or your clothing or fashion brands all connected to enrich your profile, being incentivized to do so and bring your data to projects to be rewarded, right? I bring my data to Pineapple Dex. In the future, in exchange, I will be seeing these top trading pair recommendations based on my campaign activity, my messages, my actions, wallet data, etc.
And I think one of the main problems, Martin, obviously with all these marketing campaigns that we see across this web sector, is that a lot of them are botted, aren't they? So a lot of this is going to be rule out bots completely. I mean, when you mention $50 as a buy to activate, we note you could buy more if you wanted to, but that's the minimum, obviously, to activate that. So, I mean, have you found that it completely removes bots? I think it probably would, because they're not going to automatically spend $50, are they? For example, if that was the limit we'd set on a particular project.
Yeah, it's really a longevity play here, because in the end, you want to build up this community engagement, and you want to make sure that you use the data from previous campaigns and all the message activity around it in order to craft new campaigns where you can do smarter point allocation in order to reduce the botnets. So in this case, indeed, in the new Pineapple campaign, there will be a significant amount of points being attributed to the swap event. Well, I mean, that's something regular bots don't want to go through. Next to that, in order to really start not only quantifying, so did a user do that, but also start qualifying, like how good of a user or community member is he or she, we'll be building up this community intelligence leaderboard, which I'll also show in later in the AMA, where we can actually see people's historical context. How have they been progressing through earlier quests? How are they contributing in the community? Because where we're now doing these maybe a bit standalone campaigns, in the future we'll be able to tie them much more into, hey, go here, go talk about PAPPLE, or hey, have you been onboarding new members to the community in a proper way, right? All these things can be semantically built up through this data ingestion system that we built, where every single Telegram message, every tweet, every campaign asset will be directly pushed into the stream, where we have these agents standby to build up this community intelligence. So I think we already eliminated a lot by attributing a lot of points to the swap. Of course, we can build in 100 CAPTCHAs, but those can be mitigated. But if people need to pay for bot behavior, then it's really a different story. So whenever the whole AI NLP dashboard is live, you'll be able to very easily distinguish who is a bot, who is not. Put a reliability score on a person, like you have on Exchange on CMC, and only reward people that are above a certain threshold, because it's likely that they're a bot if they don't meet that threshold.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. And with this, from a marketing perspective, what impresses me is the scalability of this. You're talking about Web 2 as well as Web 3 here. You're sending traffic back to the DEX, which is great. And I think that is something that people don't quite realize how powerful that can be when where the official DEX of yourselves in another 5, 10, 15 different communities is going to open up Pineapple DEX to a much broader audience, which I think is fantastic from our perspective. And obviously it's mutually beneficial for you guys. But yeah, I mean, this
maybe I can say this thing, because we were just talking about it, right? How do we apply Web 2 strategies to Web 3, which have been so very well battle tested throughout the years? And simply having the visibility of running an ad, seeing its performance, being able to continue tracking that within the campaign system, where we have like a whole Google Analytics suite for tracking the users, where you can have an ad all the way down to buys token on Pineapple DEX. If we can make that flow and that funnel insightful, I mean, I don't see it as these ads on X these days, right? Where you say, hey, go buy these tokens and earn. Why? Because there's a lot of different layers to the stack that need to be in place in order to establish a Web 2 growth mindset. So this is really, I think, a paradigm shift in how we'll be, running these campaigns. We're going to spend our ad budget, but also for you guys, how are you going to help the projects on your DEX to run these campaigns? Right? We've been doing this for the third time now. The playbook gets more refined every time. There's more features, more functionality, more things to really engage community members. Of course, you guys should, be able to offer this very standard offering, which can be highly customized by the project itself in order to drive immediate volume and users to Pineapple decks.
Fantastic. Tom, do you have any more questions, or do you think we should get straight into a demo?
I think a demo would be great. I think our community would be quite curious to know how many projects you might be bringing to Pineapple Decks, because one of the key things they want to see, obviously, as a community is volume. Obviously, we've got new customers. I spoke to quite a few today that are joining us, but that's a separate thing. But this sort of traffic that's going to come to us, and a number of different users, obviously, completing these tasks. This is giving us a lot of visibility. And how do you see that, the numbers sort of this moving forward? Perhaps.
Yeah, so we'll be, I've been waiting for a long time to run this also in my own community, simply because when we are going out, I want to have, this data interoperability and this community intelligence being part of it, right? So we run with, I think, 15 communities so far. We're all going to re-engage them in order to say, hey, listen, this is what we can now do for you guys. Let's start a new campaign. Let's push everything into Pineapple Decks. This is the growth playbook that we have in mind. So the thing I have mostly within my control is the fact that we're going to be launching this Cere campaign, where we're going to push a ton of traffic through different channels, whether it's Reddit, ads, X, Telegram. I'm going to try it all in order to establish a lay of the land as to what the most effective area of capital deployment is regarding ads. So this is something that I'll be very much on top of and pushing hard, because I need my wallets, which are being created in the funnel, and I want you guys to succeed, because it allows for a great success case story, which can then be used to onboard other projects. So it's very simple, and again, super excited to fingers crossed, because it is something we finalized today. They will be able to show you how the end-to-end works, and in a very visual way, rather than me just yapping about it.
Great.
So shall we dive in?
Yeah, let's go, JT.
All right. I think I can present, correct, JT?
Yeah, I'm on mute again. Internal
joke.
Fine. That's fine. Good. I'm doing it on AMAs as well now. Awesome. If you can present, Martijn, then we'll just pop that up on the screen. So
yes.
Okay, let's just add that to the stage. Give me a shout when you're ready, and I can just add that in.
Yeah. I need to share everything. Okay.
Tom, have you got any thoughts on this project so far while we just pull this up?
I should
go. It's a very exciting project, isn't it? I was quite excited to. Obviously, I've not been involved in it all the time, but I'm very aware of what our relationship with Cere and how things have developed since really from the beginning of Pineapple. So I was quite interested to know the numbers, because really that's in that. Obviously, I feed lots of information to the community, and they like to hear what's going on. They like the tech, and of course that expands our knowledge as well, which is key, because we've been obviously working hard like you in the background while we've been developing our decks, and we've put the teams in place, and most importantly the systems in place. So we are. We're a pretty finely tuned, slick unit now, and we are optimized, ready for growth. And I think with your functionality in terms of being able to maximize where we spend our resources, we'll also be able to, bring in other communities that you're bringing us. So on that note, I'll hand over to you again.
Yeah, awesome. Just to double check, you guys see my screen with the bot on it?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what you guys see here is the first screen. Whenever a user comes from a link, whether it's within the Pineapple channel, Cere channel, ad, it being prompted to open the bot, which I'll share open in the Telegram from here, and they'll be directed to the bot channel. And as you can see, these campaigns have a customized text, so I can have multiple different campaigns I'm subscribing to be part of here. But when I click join campaign, if I open the app for the first time, I see a little box here which prompts me to opt into the terms of service and privacy policy, as I said before. But when you want to start earning, you see that we're now asking also a wallet address. Previously, wallets in previous Pineapple campaigns, wallets associated with the leaderboard were tied to the campaign. We're now doing that on wallet level. So I'm putting in my Ethereum wallet as a first step, because this will open up the possibility to do these other quests. So another quest we added is the connect your X account. We put it on the top because a lot of people will be interested in this, given the amount of points. When I connect my X account, it's very simple. I just authorize the application and I'm good. If I do so, I will receive the points on the wallet. Then we have the watch to earn videos as we used to. So I'm going to quickly show you guys.
The decentralized exchange, or DEX, is a...
And the reason why I'm going to have this run for a couple seconds, along with it always being good to see JT present the next cool thing here, is because we will be able to show on our decentralized data viewer that the user has been interacting with this content. So we'll get to that in a sec. For now, the most important thing is that I want to show you. So here you can see I completed the X account. So now my messages will be fed into my data wallet or my tweets. We have a couple of videos, then we have the quiz. If I complete this, I'll get 25 points in total. But then the star of the show is trading on PAPPLE. So when I open the link, I'm being prompted, into the DEX. I already have my Cere wallet connected. Let me sign out. Yes. So the first time I'm opening up the app and I don't have my wallet connected yet, I can here authenticate my X account or authenticate using my X account. And from now on, I can have activity from the app be signed against my wallet. So if I here swap this amount, let's make it a little smaller just to be sure. And let me open up my network. Let's go. All right. While we're processing transaction, we're keeping an eye out for our network panel because we should be seeing shortly how the event is being. So here the swap is successful, and I can now see in this event that zoom in a bit. Here you can see that the event DEX swap has been completed against my user wallet here. So if everything goes well, I should be able to see here that I completed my quest. First of all, very happy that this went well. Secondly, super exciting because as you can see how easy it is to convert users from an ad into a video, into a swap, and have that all tabulated into a leaderboard. And something else I'm very excited to announce while we're at it is that we will be offering an additional 1 million Cere bounty for all the people who will be swapping. We'll be guaranteeing the first 50 people a bonus, and we will be putting a random bonus on the first 200 traders who are doing that via the campaign. So keep your eyes out for the announcement post we're putting out shortly, along with the campaign link, where we will be announcing the exact terms of our additional bonus. So just as previous points, build up a leaderboard. Leaderboard is tied to PAPPLE rewards, but to celebrate this monumental milestone, we are more than happy to add a little sugar or a little sweetener to the offering. So yeah,
well, that's great news for our community, Martin. Thank you for doing that. That's greatly appreciated.
Yeah, and we can get. I'm happy to discuss this quickly. About to discuss this while we later on look at the community intelligence dashboard. But let me hear your thoughts, guys.
Well, I think JT, sorry for jumping in there, but I think it looks really slick. I can see why obviously it took a long time to develop and to get perfectly right. And you can see, and I thought it might be sort of a longer process, but that is really going to encourage people to use it without the feeling that they're going to be there for a long, long time. Because that did go through very quickly, and it wasn't any stress for anyone that would be doing that. But it's certainly what it does is it rules out the bots because they can't do that, which is the key thing. So that was very slick, really nice to see. And I think from the community side, or any of our communities that are watching today, I think that's an incredible bonus that they are going to enjoy having a go at. So I think that's very generous of the Cere company project. So yeah, let's see how they go.
And I've had one question on YouTube actually. How many projects will be using this? Well, that's kind of an open thing, isn't it? It could be many, and I think this is what people sort of need to grasp is the amount of projects that could be using this project.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's sorry to interrupt. It's completely blockchain agnostic. The whole campaign system doesn't require any specific network configuration. The Cere wallet is completely abstracted. the community managers will end up with a simple leaderboard, as you know, which is a CSV with all the points tied off at rewards, the people who are eligible for rewards. And then in parallel, you can run these secondary campaigns such as additional bonuses for buying tokens, right, to the first 50, or JT mentioned rewarding a couple swappers on their own behalf, of looking at the 5 best people in the community this month and give them an extra 100 points on the leaderboard. It's pretty much open-ended how you want to approach this. We can connect with every system. Again, the activity SDK is just a couple lines of code. And this is what we're now going to be pushing to all these projects. Why? Because every project, in your case, it's go trade on Pineapple DEX, it's call to action. But for another project, let's say Cere, our own, we want people to start uploading files to our developer console, right? So if I can just have that event file uploaded to DDC be emitted to the wallet coming from a quest, where the user, if they come in for the first time, like, oh shit, it's that easy to actually upload files in a decentralized way, and then we add another, okay, so you think this is cool? Well, okay, then invest in the project, and you now understand what we do. That recipe can of course be applied to every project, because everyone has a platform, everyone has an app, everybody has new features, everybody wants to educate their users in a meaningful way, where they can actually track through every step of the funnel how their users are engaging with their content and optimize future campaigns. And then you get into the longevity of it, which is something that we haven't seen other campaigns come even close to being able to deliver on. So the pitch with Pineapple is now much easier than before. And then if we put on top of that community intelligence dashboard, which we'll get to, which I can show in a brief moment, that's golden offering. So expect many projects to launch. We already have 15, I think around about 15. They all need to go to Pineapple DEX with a new campaign, and then we're going to go full force on the user acquisition for other projects leveraging the success use case.
Looking forward to that.
I think everyone from Pineapple's looking forward to that as well. So that's really good news. And I do love the way that you can customize the different tasks that you can do, because what's important for one customer is clearly not as important for one other customer. So that's going to be really useful, the way you can adapt that, because that's going to cover just pretty much anyone, really, isn't it? So you could have 4 steps, or you could have 10 steps, I guess, depending on the complexity of how you want to run your campaigns.
No, absolutely. And again, I think the most value lays in being able to continuously engage your community with every single update, right? You can make a little watch your earn video. This is how the new feature works. You do a little quiz. Do you understand how it works? And then finally, you have the get people into motion, have them try it, and then like, oh, I get how this works now. And then you continuously build up this affinity and engagement with the project, because it works both ways, right? People need to feel rewarded, and you want to reward your best community members. If we can achieve that nexus, then I think we're on the right track.
It's like learning in 2.0.
Sorry, JT. I think
I was just going to say it's like learning in 2.0. It's it's taking that basic premise and building on it. It sounds great from our perspective, and I think it's going to be from the other companies that we deal with. So yeah, Tom, sorry,
that's right. I think 15 is just the start here. So next stop 150, and probably a few more after that. So yeah, looking forward to that. That's really exciting. And I think do we want to already? I'm interested in the next little demonstration you've got as well.
Yeah, let's see it.
Yeah, sure. So this goes a bit deeper, and we're going to be expanding on this much more in the future. Especially from our side, to show the versatility of the solution. Cere, the decentralized data infrastructure, the sovereign data clusters, also can encapsulate these AI agents, which can securely compute on that user data. And so we use both decentralized technologies and open source agents to supply projects with a framework that they can use to tailor completely by themselves. They own the data. They can launch their own agents. You guys can have a PAPPLE agent that rates people based on their messages, wallet activity, contributions, campaign alerts, whatever you want. And how it's going to look, I'm going to share again, JT. So
yep.
It is working on static data. They're putting the final touches to the live data stream, but I didn't want to keep this from you guys. This will be a password-protected system, community insights. I need to put on the last 60 days. And there on top, you have fairly, typical Telegram stats, mostly based on simply quantifying numbers. But then we get into things like sentiment, top users, and toxicity analysis. This is all being aggregated based on the semantic indexing of these conversations and all the messages that are being sent. So here we can now actually have this super, extensive overview of all these topics that are being discussed within the community, without having to go through all these messages in the fairly messy Pineapple chat. So we're still tweaking this based on the information, on data will be coming in. But I think if you just take something fun like the beverage somewhere.
It was at the top.
Yeah. So you can see that if the topic, if you guys are focusing on beverage one way or the other, you'll be able to actually see how these posts regarding the subject are being clustered. So here you see Fred, who hasn't explicitly used the word drinks, but it understands that margarita is a fruit-based drink. And you can see here that Fred is contributing to it from the main convo, but also on his personal note, you'll see that, he's pretty engaged with anything fruit and flavors and these kind of things. So it might be something for you guys to target him on. But as you can see, if we have these more extensive ones, let's say the branding, branding strategy, if we have visual identity, all these topics will be actually bucketed in a smart way, where we'll be working together with the Pineapple team to understand what they feel is important to surface. We're not here to tell you guys how to run a community. You know your community, and this is a way for you guys to know your community much better. And as you can imagine, having all this super detailed data along the messages, along with the X feed, the wallet data, the campaign data, will allow you to really build an insightful, 360 view of your community, which is meaningful reporting for someone like Ali to come in and immediately get an overview. Okay, these are the 5 things that people are discussing this week. These are key contributing members, and for him to make his own business decisions together with the team. So I expect the live feed to come in here in hours, not days. And whenever it's live, I'm very excited to hand you guys over the keys to start playing around and start thinking about how to leverage all this securely onboarded and verifiable user data to your towards your business objectives. So this is huge, to be able to index these Telegram messages and immediately have something visualized on the dashboard. I mean, if you think about how much technology and how many different vendors and how many people you would need in order to build this yourself, it's incredible. And with Siri, we've just been building to this software 3.0 solution. You have a data stream, you want to connect it, you want to start learning from your data. We can just click into it and we can give you a business outcome on the dashboard, and we just work with you to configure everything in between. So this is really consumer use case, and we're doing the same thing for live drone video feeds, where you simply hook up our AI stack onto a live video feed to analyze it with a set of agents to get a security or escalation dashboard in place. So super exciting stuff. We'll expand a lot more about this in the future. I'm very much looking forward to building this with you guys and keep on going through the creative process to see what's possible and how you guys can absolutely lead knowing what you know and along with your community member input, because that is a big part of it, right? Ask a community what they're looking for, what they want. It's something that we will be doing much more in the future, because we now have the tools and now we have to get people understand the end-to-end from a Telegram message to a dashboard and everything in between.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And one of the things that I really like, I can't remember whether we discussed it or whether it was something we discussed earlier on, but was the ability to just see the people in the community like that and identify who's maybe talking about. We've launched the decks in the last week. We could just go in and see who the top 5 people are who are talking about the decks, not just using the decks. So we can then go and say, well, you know what, we're going to airdrop these guys 50 PAPPLE each. So we have the ability to reward our community for talking about the things that that are valuable to us. So as a community, we grow and we reward our community, and our community just builds. And that's such a solid principle, I think, to work off. And it's giving something back, and rather than just giving away prizes for doing things, we can actually reward people who are active and the really solid community members that are driving us forward as and always have been. So yeah, that's a really nice touch.
Yeah, and then you can, with every campaign, you can just say, reward the top 20 best contributors, which is just, qualified by AI, and give them additional points or give them additional. There's really no limit as to how you configure community engagement. It's Kaito, but going, 4 or 5 steps beyond that, because it actually paints a holistic picture, not just yapping on X. It's Telegram, it's Wallet, it's X, it's campaign data, it's whatever data you want to supply to the system as well, right? At some point, you can actually have people say, okay, I can contribute in this way, right? You kind of reverse the grants and the bounties, saying, hey, just have this idea box. Good ideas get qualified and rewarded. Right? However, AI is here to help people, not to well, at least we use AI to bring intelligence to users, rather than the other way around, to bring user data to intelligence where you have no idea what's happening to it. And super excited to bring that to work on that with you guys.
I think one of the most interesting things there as well, quite simply, we quite often get comments that people may have written down or put in Telegram, and we're trying to locate that comment, but now we can find it exactly very quickly. I mean, just the very basics of that would have saved us time in the past when we're trying to find different bits of data. So that quite simply, there's a lot. I mean, the value is just incredible, but simple things like that are made easier as well.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw it, but at the top of the community dashboard, you have just this text box. You can just query that based on all the available, index data. You can say, okay, give me the top 10, vocal contributors who have also completed all the quests, or give me the wallets that have, both been active in the community and have more than 100,000 PAPPLE in their wallet. There's, however, NLP query you want to do can be done, because it has this super smart way of indexing all this off-chain yet verified metadata or user data.
And I hope this answers the question of what we're doing with the 500,000 PAPPLE, if anyone in the community was wondering. It is going to be distributed, and it's part of this project, and it's going to be dropped out to people, and it'll be innovatively, and it'll be in different ways, and it'll be done over the coming weeks. But we've possibly not been as transparent as we should have been, but believe us, it's the first part of what we're doing has been done, and then we're moving on to the next, and this is going to be the next step for us. So that is the answer to the question that's been hot on everyone's lips in the community this week. But big things coming, I think. Yeah, and then, like you said, right, we're co-innovating with you guys. Things may not be hyper streamlined from the start. We may run into something, but I think everybody knows that the intention is here to reward the community. I think that's what we're all going for here. There's no we have no interest in something quick and dirty, but longevity is where the magic is at. So feel free to reach out also to me anytime, or in the Siri chat if you have any questions to kind of relieve your mods. We're here to help. And I mean, if you have any other projects that you think can benefit from this, who you want their community to eventually trade on PAPPLE, my DMs are always open, and it will only benefit yourself. Well, it looks like Tom's going to be speaking to a few companies in the next couple of weeks, Tom.
I've already got a few in mind.
Yeah.
The mind is always thinking. I mean, what an opportunity for them as well. I mean, it's really important for us to work with our partners to give them the best opportunity as well. So obviously it's good for us, it's good for you, and it's good for them. I mean, it's win-win-win. So we'll always be looking at opportunities like that. Yeah, and I'm speaking to a lot of different companies at the moment. So so I'll certainly be pushing that forward for you, for mutual benefit for everyone.
Yeah, cool. And I've actually forgot one thing, which I do want to quickly show, because it is something that was discussed at the start. The decentralized data viewer, to give people an idea as to how it is actually possible to see their data. If I can share for...
Yeah, let's do it.
Am I sharing? Yeah, cool. So what you can see,
client, this is what our community will see. So the last one was the user, so the community manager. This will be the individual user. Yeah,
correct. So indeed, this is an aggregation again of the individual data wallets. So here what I did is I connected again using Telegram OAuth. I load in my application, and here you can see that the DEX swap has taken place about 20 minutes ago in this campaign with this Cere wallet ID, and therefore I've received the points. Same goes for the, let's see if I can get the watch. Wallet connects. Pineapple DEX. So question answered is one of the tags. Segment watched. And here you can also see that I can encrypt and decrypt every single individual piece of user data. So this really will come into play when, for instance, I only want to show a third-party application the questions I answered, but I don't want them to show the videos I watch, whatever that may be, right? So this level of granularity is now actually made possible. You're in control of your data, as you should, which is something a lot of people have kind of forsaken on, but we will be fighting to create this awareness and make sure that people care much more about this in the future, because it really works both ways. Someone's we say that it's not data is not the new oil. Access to data is. Everybody's building AI agents, but how are you getting the compliant and permission data onboarded, so you don't run into any GDPR nightmares? We have the unambiguous system to prove that simply by invocation and revocation of permissions on the most granular level. So again, super excited to see everything actually, because you guys know how close to the call we had to fix the final touches, but we're here, and I'm super excited. I can't wait to launch a campaign into your community. Cere campaign next up, and then we're going to start blasting and reward everyone in the way that they should.
Brilliant. I think our communities and all the communities you work with obviously are beginning to understand how important this relationship is and how far it's going to grow, and potentially how much it's going to bring to both people. Obviously, you're bringing people to the DEX, which is good for us. We're going to bring customers to you, and your campaigns will bring obviously the DEX relationship as well. So it's a fantastic setup, and I think, now with the numbers that you've mentioned and the different people that will come to us, it's incredibly good for Pineapple and for you as well. And yeah, we're very proud to be working with you. And I think the community will probably, after this demonstration, will see the advantages of Siri. There are lots out there who have their own connections. I know probably all the sales team that work with me are all watching this as well, and so they'll be pushing this forward as well. So yeah, we'll be working with you to help as much as possible.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I think things like this is really what Web3 is built for, and that's what pushing some real adoption here, and verified adoption.
Absolutely. Well, I think JT, I don't know if JT wants to add anything, but I mean, I'm sure there'll be more of these, and look forward to speaking to you again next time.
Yeah, nothing really to add, but thanks for joining us today. It's been I don't know, we've had many conversations about this, and it's great to actually bring it out so people can see it and we can use it in the real world. And it's good to sort of talk about where we are with this and why we're doing it, and people will understand the quests that have been in the chat. So yeah, fantastic to do this. Can't wait to do more work with you guys, and thank you very much for bringing it to us. It's we really appreciate the growth, and we really appreciate the push forward. So Martin, any final words from you, or we can wrap it up there otherwise?
Yeah, well, I forgot to congratulate you and the community with the launch at the start, but big congrats on that. I mean, it's been quite quite thrilling to see. I know how hard you guys work for it, and I think this is really the fruit of your labor and that of the community, right? And to be able to align you guys even more with the community in the future is something very, that I feel responsible for, working with you guys, knowing you guys, meeting you guys in person, knowing heart's in the right place, and there's really something special brewing here, and can't wait to see where it goes.
Brilliant. Thanks for that, Martin. Yeah, and just final note, thank you very much to all the communities who've watched in today as well. As per normal, obviously it's important to all of the campaigns and projects that we work with that those community members join in and spread the word. So thanks again to them, and thanks to you again. That's a brilliant demonstration. What an exciting project.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you very much. Take care. Cheers.
Yeah. Bye.
Right, fortune favours a bold, or so they say. And our man here, well, he leaped to the chance. Judging by the company he's keeping, I'd say that lead paid off nicely. Launch was a roaring success. PAPPLE shot up to 7 million market cap in record time. But don't go thinking that's the finale. Oh no, that was just the warm-up act. Limit orders, slice token insights, advanced charting, lower fees, staking, you name it. The devs have been very busy. And if you think that's all, guess again. We're just getting started, mate. Well, seems everyone wants a piece of the action. New faces, old faces, big names, of course they do. The real fun hasn't even begun yet. Dramatic change of scenery, innit? Our man's come a long, long way from that little invitation. But believe me, this is nowhere near the end of the story. Remember all the rumours about pineapples? Turns out the real story is far more interesting and profitable. You'll have to stay tuned for that. Pineapple. It's not what you think. It's so much better.